Right, so there's your triangle build. It's completely different to what we normally build. You can see it's snuck tight in the little corner of a garden, which is what the customer wanted. What I'm going to do now, before I walk you around, I'm going to show you the process of how we built it and what went into it, and the pitfalls and the wastage that's involved, and then I'll give you a walk around as well. Reasons, but this will be our last job of this year. It's a little bit different. It's a triangle, so we're going to try and give you a daily on it if we can, but we'll talk about the cables first. We've already run them, so if David comes around here, the incoming to the house is here. Yeah, the incoming to the house is there, so we will be joining inside there with a little consumer unit type thing. Can't remember the right terminology. Ideally, we would have preferred to go that way, but this is next door. This is next door's path, and the customer doesn't want to see any cables, so we've dropped down there into the little gravel bed. That is a steel wide armoured. It's 10 mil. It runs along there under that step and through that gravel bed there as well. We've then met with our Cat 6 there as well, so we've dropped both down there. We've gone through there. We have crossed over under these two flags and we've dropped into that little channel there. And here we have come out. Now we've stopped there simple for the reason because we haven't got a can go with the stair to break that concrete off, but that'll be getting dug out there and it'll be getting dug down here then. So if you stay there, Dave, you might be able to see it better. Can you sort of see the shape? Right, it's a triangle. Now 12 square metres is what she wants. Now our maths, we're working out the area of a triangle, wasn't that great, so we had to use a formula, but this just gives us, what is it, Brandon, 12.8? 12.8 metres squared. So that's the front. This will be the bifold doors. The bifold doors will all slide that way, and you'll enter the room here. That side and this side will be no maintenance cladding. There's room to get all the way around to treat the fence. We've took 3 trees down there as well, and because of the shape it requires more rods. There's 28 rods. There's 29 rods in this, so we've got a row, we've got 7 on the front, and we've got various down each side, and then a few lines, because what we'll be doing, we'll be putting our 4x2, but obviously we can't span it over that distance because it's too much, so that'll take the bounce out there. So they're really supporting the middle, and the perimeters there as well. It will be a little bit different because when you do a triangle, so you can't do it the way we normally do, where we have the front wall higher than the back wall, but we'll put the roof all at the same height, and then we'll use fairings to create the fall to the back. But what will happen is, at the front here, we'll have curb trim, and on the sides, we'll have gutter. That's how we did the last one, wasn't it, John?
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll have gutter on both sides, and then that will run away down there as well. And we've got the added bonus here of, this is the highest point adjacent to the land, adjacent to the garden room, so that is where the 2.5 will be taken from. So this will be slightly, fractionally higher than our normal build, but will still fall in the permitted development because it's under 2.5. I believe the concrete's here now, John, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, concrete's here now, so we're going to get them rodded in. We'll show John putting a couple of rods in, and we'll go from there. Right, this is where we get our concrete from. It's air concrete. There's loads of these companies around. Basically what they do, they mix it, and you pay for what you use. I know the minimum order of these is a cube. We tend to use maybe half a cube to 3/4 of a cube, but the minimum order is a cube. So it's all in there, it all gets mixed. Somewhere along there you'll see the prop shaft there, which mixes it all together, comes down the chute, and we drop it in the barrow. Right, so you can see the rod there. It's galvanised washer plate, 10 mil trapped between nuts. That will stop the rod driving through the concrete. John's now going to hold that in, and I'm going to make sure that this concrete goes right to the bottom, and then John will jab it up and down to make sure that that washer is completely encased in this concrete, which will prevent any rod, the weight of the building, pushing the rod through the concrete. He's using a little boat level there to get it nice and plumb for us. Now you can either mix this by hand like we used to, which was a right ball ache, and then we got on the idea of getting these guys out, which was a no-brainer, changed the game completely. Yeah. So if Davey pans round there, he'll be able to see all the rods. There's 29, I think we said there were, all concreted in. What we'll do in a minute is go around with a hose pipe, wash off all the concrete so that the rods, the nuts rather, will go down successfully tomorrow when we wind it down, but we'll show you that tomorrow as well. But like I say, this is probably near on 3/4 or a cube. Is it a cube or 3/4? 3/4. No, never a cube. minimum the charge for is a cube, but it takes all the hard work out of it. But they do like to put John under pressure sometimes, because I think this job and knock. Is it job and knock?
No, Huddersfield.
Huddersfield next. Actually worked that out at last barrel. We normally have half a barrel. Let's go with something that's worked out really well. There you go.
I'll do it.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, so this rod, you can see the sort of triangle formation that we've created using the string lines. John will now go around and make sure that all these rods are near enough bang on for himself. It just aids when we put the timber on, keep it nice and straight. Well, that's it. So tomorrow we'll get the bracing. I'll show you that going. We're back. It's cold today. It's like 0 degrees at this moment in time. So the concrete is still a bit green. I don't know if you can see the rod moving there in that. So what we're going to do today, just because it's that cold, we're going to wind down the nuts. We're going to get the base frame in, but we're not going to insulate and floor it today, just to give the concrete a bit of a chance to go off. Right, what we're doing, we're leveling the nuts. Now, you can either build one of these on a concrete base, or you can use ground screws, or you can use this system. Whichever you choose, this choice is yours, I guess. But these are the 1 metre threaded rods. They're galvanised and they're M24. John's going round with the laser there. You can see the laser spinning. He's got the staff on that. We looked for the highest point, which is over here. This is our highest point. So he's now going round and he's winding down the nuts to level them off. A guy called Ronnie made us this bar. I think he's some kind of fabricator, I can't remember now. The nuts, because I washed them off yesterday, they're actually frozen. See how tight they are, David?
Yeah. I've done a few with my hand and it's been tight.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so Ronnie made us this bar. He's built one himself, a garden room, and he come up with this, and it's actually genius. The reason I've got the clutch on the drill, so that's why it's making that nice. But we'll wind them down with them anyway, and John's going to go around and he's going to lock them off then once he's lasered them. But you don't have to use a laser, you can use a spirit level. So what you could do is find your highest point, wind your nuts down, sit your level on there, and then wind your next nuts up so it's level, and then go on all round using the level. But if you're going to use a level, what you need to do is rotate it every single time, and if your level's out slightly, it will correct itself as it goes around. So what he'll do, he's going to lock them off, and we'll get them all locked off, and then we're going to use some of this 4x3, which is a wall plate. It's been treated. This 4x3, what it's designed for is to sit on an internal skin of your house on the breeze block, and then your rafters would be birds mouthed into that. Right, skips here. Right, so what we're going to do, because the length is over 4.8, they come at 4.8, you can get them in 6 metres, but these are 4.8, so he's going to join them, but we'll just do that. Skips here, David. Right, that far wall which John is on now, the far leg there, is over 4.8, the timbers are 4.8, sometimes get them at 6, so we're going to have to join them with splice plates, which Brandon is doing. This is a splice plate, and that's a twist nail, and it'll do that on both sides, which will then extend the length of that timber. And then we're going to go back. We're going to go. I'm really bad at this today, David. Then what we're going to do then is drill some holes in it, and we'll drop them on. But I'll show you that as well. Yeah. Right, I'll try and get my presenting skills back as they were before. Right, that's the 4x3. John's gone round. He's locked off all the nuts now. They're twisted against each other, locked, so they can't actually drive down or vibrate down into that. Ronnie made us this as well. That just sits against the rod there, little hole there, and that's your centre. That's what I'm going to drill. So I'm going to go down now, and I'm going to mark the centre of each hole. I mean, to be fair, what I used to do is just freehand it, and then we'd end up braying the timbers down. And John never used to like that, did you, John? Because he spends a lot of time getting his rods dead straight. He's proud of his rods, aren't you, John?
So, proud of plenty of rods.
Right, fire that up onto the trestle. What I'm going to drill it with, I'm going to drill it with this Bosch bit. It's 25mm. The rod's 24mm, so it's 25mm. It's a Bosch speed bit, some description. It's somebody recommended that to us when I tried it at spot on. I'm using Milwaukee. I'll power through that, no problem. So, Something isn't right. Ah, there we go. Why is that so slow?
Not slow now.
Slower than normal, John. I wonder, is it feeling the cold as well? Right, fire that through there. And what I'm going to do is just wiggle it out a little bit at the bottom, simply because we want to go on this rod successfully. I think so. Okay. That's showing 3 bars, that, John. It's cold, isn't it? Right, so that battery there, look, it's got 3 bars and it's practically full. That should power through there, no problem. John's 12 amp. Now, we've had this discussion before and the terminology wasn't quite right. That's completely full. Yeah, that's all, John.
You sure?
Yeah. Now, that's powered through there, no problem at all. Now, there's a lot of knots in that bit there. John, put shoes on, John. Yeah. Now, you could sort of say it's equivalent to putting a full tank of petrol in your car. It doesn't make it go faster, it just makes it drive longer, but it does actually drive it faster and harder through. We've had this conversation before, haven't we, John?
Yeah. It obviously keeps them up.
A constant power. So there you go, right. Look, and the reason why I've wiggled them is just to make that bottom entrance hole just slightly bigger so that we can go on the road successfully. What I want to do now with the chainsaw, right? I'm going to notch it there like that, and I'm going to cut that out there, and then what that'll happen then is when we wind our nut down, it will go down below the level of the timber. Right, so we've notched them out now. What we're going to do now is chop them down.
I picked out bottoms off them all. I did a few.
He's not pulled burrs off, and they need pulling off because it can hold it up.
I've just pulled the first ones. I just forgot them
Yeah,
ones.
go to the end of this timber. Let's have a look, see if you can see how it does. Look down that edge there. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Right, so you see how twisted that timber is. So what will happen now is we'll get it onto the rods, we'll push it down, and then we'll drive the nuts down, and it will straighten the timber back up. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit out, it's quite irrelevant really. Right, what we'll do now, me and John will lift it on. We'll look for the highest rod, which I think is this one, John. I'm on, are you on?
This one.
Sometimes the rod might just want a little bit of a little knock just to get it going. Right, so it just wants driving down a little bit. Like I say, the holes are then 25, the rod's 24. You can see there, that's gone down. Have a look down it now, David, so you can see if it's straight now. You can?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, no, I was,
Right, so that's straight now. So what we're going to do now is get my drill and the finding bit. So what we'll do now is we'll go around with the nuts and wind them down. So that's as far as the drill will send it. And then what we'll do then is just, it's genius is this part. You can see it compressing down now, look. And what you want is your nut lower than your timber. Let's have a look, show you there you can see that, can't you? Yeah. So when the floor goes over the top of that, it's not going to push it up its low. So that's what we want. What we're going to do, we're going to put all these nuts down, we'll go do that edge, we'll do all the perimeter first, and then I'll show you the cross sections going in as well. You can really see the shape now, proper triangle shape. I'll show you the back in a minute. So we're going to drop a timber in the cross there as well, which will support and take the balance out of the 4x2. There's another one in there and a little one over there. Ready? What we're going to do then, we join the timbers together here on the corner. Brandon's going to use they're a 250mm screw, and he'll drive them in there. We're going to make sure that they're flush with each other. These nuts will get wound down then when they are flush with each other. Yeah, you're going to miss it there. that there now, we'll put 2 in there. That'll tie that in together. Right, you can see what I've done here, look. Now, Brandon, you got my Sharpie? Just roll it a minute. Right, so it's not a true triangle, right? What we were hoping for is that would be this wall, that would be this wall, and that would be the front of it, but it's not actually like that. It's more like that. So this issue here now, what we're going to send the roof that way, so all the water's going to run to the back there. But this here won't be a true right angle. So what we've done, we've created a little bit of a dead end on it there, a little square end, and hopefully then we'll be able to get some gutter brackets on there. I think this is what we did before. Me and John seem to remember we did that before, and that works well. So that's why we've created that there. Yeah, but that's it. That's sort of like the main base frame. We're going to put some cheek 42 joists to carry that as well, and we'll show you them. Right, we've gone round and put some 4x2. It's green treated timber, and we're sitting them on these joist hangers again, fixing them with twist nails. What we did, where's that speed square, Brandon? What we did was, to start us off, we measured as 400, and then we got our speed square on there. We levelled our line, sorry, no, do like that. We got our level across, and that started us off. We fixed it with some 100mm screws in there. Obviously can't get a joist hanger on there. You can see that one, if it is a shoe, we notch out and we put 250 screws through there. So what will happen now is they're going to put some slate battens under here, which I'll be honest with you, we've completely forgotten about, so that's going to be a pain in the arse. There's some slate battens, and that will stop the insulation from pushing through, because we're then going to put that 100mm fallback Celotex in there to insulate the floor. But like I say, we need to put some joist hangers in between there. If you have a look at this, Davey, we've just opted for one in there because it diminishes so quickly. Slightly over 400 there, but that's fine, and it diminishes very quickly. So I was just talking to John about this, and I think what we're going to do, you can get an adjustable gutter bracket joint rather, so I think we're going to put one of them on there. I've not decided yet, but that'll sort of come along as we go along. And I don't think we're going to put fairings on, because I don't think we've got anything to gain by it. I'm just going to build this front wall as we normally do, 75mm higher than the back and the sides, but we only have 2 sides, and the roof will drop anyway, so I think we're going to not bother with fairings, but we'll see. Right, so we've got the insulation down. We're putting now 22mm Aga Protect. It's got like a grey covering on it. It's good for 6 weeks out in any weather apparently, which is great for this time of year. It's 22mm. And this is the problem with the triangle build. Look, you've just got so much wastage on everything. Wastage on insulation, wastage on boards. It'll be the same for the roof as well. But you can see the shape of that now. Right, we're using the 30-minute glue. They haven't got any 5-minute glue anymore, but you can see there it's quite fluid. The reason it's fluid because we've had it in a bucket of warm water for about 5 minutes, because it just doesn't want to come out at this time of year. It's absolutely freezing. And we're just using 60mm screws. We never nail them because your floor's going to squeak, so we screw the boards down. But you can, excuse me, you can see the wastage that's involved when you're doing a triangle shape. Right, so there's lots to tell you today. Right, we've set up this little demonstration because I don't know what was going on in my mind. Right, I don't know where my head were thinking about this roof. We've set up a little model, as it were. So that's your triangle shape. If we build like we normally do, where our front wall is higher than the back, and we sit our rafters on, that's what's going to happen. So if you put that on there, look, that straight edge, you can see there the roof is going to be board in the middle, so obviously that can't happen. So what we're going to have to do with this one is build all the walls the same size. Let's see if I can get this off without dropping them. So what will happen then is all the walls will be the same size, they'll be the rafters, and then what we'll do then, even if you're not a true triangle, all your rafters will be at the front there like that. We'll have another timber across the front, and then we'll put fairings on, and as long as your fairings start at the beginning of each one, they'll diminish to nothing correctly the way you want it. So what will happen with this roof is all the water will run this way. We'll have a P-trim on the front there, and we'll have gutter trim on the sides. So the rain will come down, it'll run off the sides and into the gutter and down off the end. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah.
It looks
it looks better, doesn't it? So that's what's going to happen. So all the walls will be the same size. It's -2 today. You can see it's proper cold. Got the gas tucked down the trousers for the Pazlord. Right, what I'm going to do, I've ordered a 7th generation Pazlord, and I'm going to give it away at Christmas. But to get in with a chance of winning the 7th generation Pazlord, you have to follow me on Instagram. I want, and I'll give you my address maybe today or tomorrow, I want an envelope with your name and address on it, and I also want your Instagram name on it as well. And if you're not following me when you get drawn out, you're not going to win it. So that's it, 7th generation Pazlord. You need to follow me on Instagram, and I'm going to give it away on Christmas Eve. So like I said, it's 2 degrees. Back to the nail guns again. The Pazlord is gas, obviously. You need to keep the gas warm, but even doing that, it stopped firing after about 7 shots. So we're back onto the Milwaukees, which obviously battery operated. Right, this wall, because it's a triangle, the wall is quite, what's the wall? Nearly 6 metres, Brandon? Yeah. The wall is nearly 6 metres, and we haven't got enough space to build it. So we've got two separate studs, one there, one here. So what we're going to do, we're going to OSB this one up until OSB to there, so that we can square the wall. We're going to stand it up, fix it in place, and then we're going to put that stud in as well, make sure that's plumb, and OSB it whilst it's stood up. Once again, the sheets, I don't know why these are 4 foot, and sometimes they come at 1.2, so we're having to rip 20mm off down the length of the sheet, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. So we're going to square this one. I showed you how to square it before. If you come over here, David, what will happen is we'll use the board as the square edge. This is the problem with these triangles. Right, and we'll put a fix in there in that corner. We'll then fix down there and get it dead straight with there. Let's see if I can show you. There, can you see, David? Look. So that there now is dead square with that wall, yeah? So when I fix that there, if you look there, look, you see that there, David? The wall's running away, so that means the frame's not square with it. But what we'll do then, we'll drive that down to get that square. You see there, look, 4 foot sheet. It's fallen on the edge where we need it to fall on the centre, so we'll have to rip 20mm off that as well. Right, so you can see what we've done. We've squared that part of the wall, yeah, and we've added that additional bit of frame there. Because we couldn't build it completely on the floor, we're having to then go and OSB that afterwards. But that's sort of like the side wall. We'll have the same scenario with this wall as well. It's a big long wall, we're going to struggle to build it on here, so we might have to build it in 2 now that we've got this one up, depending where we stand with it. But that's it. So at the front there, look what we've done at the front. We've dropped the timber on there. Our 5x2 then will come up there, cut at an angle there, and the OSB will go around there, and I'll probably put a little fillet piece in that angle there just to tie that in. We've got the side walls up. We've let this OSB fly past, because what we're going to do, we're going to run OSB into them and then cut that off. I just want to show you something about this detail. So the steel will sit in there. Obviously that's the height of that wall then. Davey comes round here. So yeah, just have a look down there. So this frame here, look, it's going to slide up there like that or thereabouts, yeah? So what I want then, I want a timber there, so that this plasterboard carrier there, and a timber there as well. Can you see that, David? Yeah. So I'm going to put 2 timbers. That timber there will be used to fix that through, to tie that wall into there, and that timber there will be plasterboard carrier. Now we're waiting for John to come back, because he's got steel, and he's also got some rock wool, because that void there we will not be able to insulate once it's boarded. So I'm going to rock wool that first, put 2 timbers in, rock wool that, and then this wall then can go into place like that. We'll square that through, mirror it same on the other side. You've already put a double timber in that side already. And like I say, we'll insulate this little bit here, because we won't be able to get into insulate that afterwards. Yeah. Right, so that's your triangle structure, I guess. It's just over 12 square metres. You see there's another floor. We put the walls up, they were a pain in the ass. We've had to half build the wall, then stand them up. Same with that wall as well, just because it's big, it's like 6 metres long. The front there, we put the steel in, obviously that needs a bit of OSB on the front there and the bottom as well. And I'll just show you what we're doing with the roof as well. So we've created a completely level roof, and what we're going to do is put fairings on it then. So because it's such a big span, it's over 5 metres towards the back, I put a double trimmer there and we've joist angle on there, so we've split the load there, and we've got us 5x2s running on there, and we simply, again, you've seen us use them before, they're just joist angles upside down, but we'll strap the joist to the timber, which is then fixed to the steel, which then fixed to the building. Same on the back. We'll run the timbers through there, and then what we'll do, we'll ping some lines down the sides. We'll cut them off probably with a chainsaw on Monday, then put the side trimmers on, and I'll show you that doing. So that's everything. You can see what I was on about earlier on there. We put that double timber in there, A, to fix that wall to that wall, and B, to get the plasterboard in, and of course Davey's infilled that with rock wool as well. Yeah, Monday morning we're back on the roof. It is -2 or approximately that anyway, so the PAS loads have gone away. We're going to talk about the PAS loads shortly as well. Milwaukee's are out, they work fine in this weather. You can see over there what we've done. We've created the side overhang of the roof. What I am going to do is put some more noggins in them as well, because obviously because of the way the roof is designed, there isn't a lot carrying that, so I'll put some more noggins across to carry that. I just wanted to show you how we've come up with what we've come up. I'll just roll this to me, Brennan. Right, so we've got a bit of 5x2. We've held the 5x2, can you see there, Davey? We've held the 5x2 up the side of the building like that, and when that point intersects that point, we've drawn a line up on the timber there. Can you see it over here? Brandon's done the same down that end there as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use this straight edge that we've got. You there, Brandon? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to use that straight edge rather than the string line, simply because it's frosty and the string line ain't going to work on the frost. So we're going to transfer them lines down there. And then what we'll do then, I'll get a sliding square, and I will transfer a square line up as well. John, can you pass me a sliding square, please? I'll just show you what I mean by that. Right, Brandon, just roll that to me, just one full turn. You good? Yeah. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to get my square on there. John, can I have that little chainsaw, please? Transfer a line up like that. Ignore that line, that's wrong. Please, mate. Please. Transfer that line up, and then what I'll do then, so I'm going to do that on all these timbers, and then what that will create me a parallel edge to the side of the building basically, which will affix a 5x2 to as well. This side's not too bad, there's quite a lot of timbers on this side, but on the other side I'm going to have to put some noggins in, and we have failed. See there, David, look, you see the front trimmer? I've not made it long enough, so we're going to have to extend that out as well, because my overhang was going to be a lot smaller than we thought, but we've changed the detail on that just as we've gone along. So that's it. You can sort of see the roof shape now. I don't know if you can you, Davey? So what we've done, because the span from front to back was nearly 5 metres, we put a double trimmer there in the centre. We've sat them all on joist hangers, and of course we've used our 400 spacing rather than our 400 centres, because you get better use out of the insulation that way. So that's it, a few noggins, side trimmers on, and we'll have a look at the back corner. You see the back end there, Davey? Because I still don't know what we're going to do with that just as of yet, but we'll make that bit up as we go along, I guess. Right, so the roof's gone on level. Normally we'd put the front wall high and like drop our timbers to back, which will create the pitch. So now we have to create some fairings. Basically a fairing is a wedge-shaped piece of timber. You can see that there. We've run it 40mm to 5 over its full length. So as long as you put all your fairings right at the front, so they're all flush at the front, then the pitch of the roof will work properly for you. And try and show you this now. Davey's going to try and get up here with me and have a look. So you can see the fairing there. Can you see it, Davey? Yeah? You see the fairing. What I'm going to do with the fairing then is just sit it on top of the 5x2 and bring it flush to the front there. And as long as they're all right and flush at the front, then like I said, the pitch of your roof will be true. So we're going to do that all the way down there. Throw some of them, will you, Brandon? And then what we're going to do as well, we're going to infill this piece here. like that, and that's simply because when we put our P-trim on, the nail hole falls about there and I want the timber to fix to there. So that'll be the perimeter of the roof, and just over there you can see we need to go cut the ends of the fairings off. Can you see, Davey? Yeah. So what I've done, I've let them fly all over, overhang, and what we'll do, we'll trim them off to suit. And then what we will also do then is, Brandon, you got that piece of timber that we're going in there? Right, so what he's done now as well, if you hold that over there, Brandon, where it's going to go, so you can see the sides as well, so I'm going to infill them as well, because from past experience when we've nailed the roof down, it's been all up and down. So I'm going to actually infill these. So what we'll do, we'll drop that in there. Brandon will then mark the top, because obviously where on his right hand side is higher than his left hand side, because obviously the roof pitch is down there, so he's going to mark that. We'll strike that line through and we'll run that through table saw, and then what we'll have done is the full perimeter of the building will also be on the pitch as well, and there'll be no like voids where the roof's going to go down when I nail it. Because what happened before, I nailed it and I just remember it was sort of, not to exaggerate it, like, but it was like that all the way down. So that's what we're going to do with that. We'll strike that through and we'll have a full perimeter. You can see the bottom of roof down there. Can you see that angle, Davey? Kind of. I'll show you it better when we're up there, but what I've done, I've created a right angle so we can have a right angle gutter bracket and then an offset angle as well, so we should be able to get 2 gutter brackets on there work successfully. Right, so there's all the infills in as well. We've got the full perimeter around, which is pitching nicely to the back now. We're just going to cut them fairings off there, and we are going to drop this OSB free roofing boards, 18mm thick chipboard OSB board, and we're going to glue it with some polyurethane glue, which is, let's see if you can see it, it's in the bucket warming away. So that's your full roof. Loads and loads of wastage on it, but there's not a lot you can do. So much wastage that I'm actually a little bit short, but we'll bring another board for that. Polyurethane glue, it's going off, but it won't go off by the time we finish today. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw some visqueen over the top of it, 2 layers of it. We're going to batten it all round so it doesn't blow off if it gets windy, and we're going to leave it at that. But I'll just show you this end over here, look. So because it came to a point and with the falls running down here, what we're going to have is a right angle gutter joint there and an offset on there. And if we can't get an offset, I'll get an adjustable bend. But that's it, the full roof's running that way. You've seen us use the fairings. Right, John's, it's going to be, what I'm going to do, I'm going to condense today's and tomorrow's into one, because I'm going to nip off some and get some cedar. So it'll be a short one today. But I'll just tell you what we're doing. John's running the lights. Now, if you've watched us before, you'll know what kind of roof system we use, and I'm not going to go into it again because people just like get really upset about it. I mean, the guy got really upset on the group the other night, and then he sent me an email saying he was going to report me to trading standards because I was building bad roofs or something. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about hybrid roofs anymore. You either do it your way or do it my way or do it whichever way you want, not really bothered. Right, he's running 1mm cable, twin and earth for the LEDs. It's a bit of a funny one with the triangle because it's a bit hard to set out. We're having 4, 3, 2 and then 1 here, but the customer wants these ones to come on independently to the front ones. So when she's in here on her own, the desk is going to be over here and she's just going to have these lights on. That's what she wants. Anyway, right, so we're using 50mm in the wall. It's a cavity back there. Look, you can see that it's for actually they're designed to go when you're building an extension or building a house, whatever. So they're 1200 by 450. We cut it along, it's 450. So there's your 450 there, and another 450 there. That gives us 900. And then we'll drop us noggin on top of there. It's not quite half, but it's absolutely fine. Saves a lot of cutting and a lot of time as well. So that's going to happen there. This little corner here, he's not going to get in to skim it properly. So what I've done, I've put a couple more timbers in. I'm going to rock wool behind there, and then I'm going to pull that to there like that, screw through there, and then we'll be able to put a plasterboard on there and run plasterboards into there, and he should be able to skim that successfully. But obviously I'm going to rock wool behind that as well. Right, so that's that. We're going to insulate this. Tomorrow we are going to plasterboard it. You can see there, look, because we've used fairings, we're not going to get PIR insulation in there, so Davy's took some rock wool in it just to insulate that. We will also have an issue with these little details here. We'll get in as much PIR as we can, and then it will be rock wool from the outside as well, and that'll be that. Right, so it's fully insulated now, 50-inch walls, 100-inch roof, 100-inch floor. What we're going to do now is put this moisture barrier over it. The report did say it was pretty redundant, but we still carry on doing it anyway. If nothing else, I tend to feel it helps your plaster dry out a little bit better because the water's contained, and you know, it stops. Because basically what I'm saying is when you put your finger up in the light when it's being plastered, it looks dry, but it's still wet underneath, so the plastic is sort of containing it and it dries it out a lot quicker, I feel. So we're going to carry on with that anyway. Because the bays are bigger, that we've just dropped some OSB, we've fixed it through there, because what we want to do, there's nothing to stop the boards from flapping about there. What David will do then, he'll go outside and he'll tuck loads of rock wool up where we couldn't actually get in with PIR. So that's it, we're going to use this barrier there, we're going to staple that up, and then we're going to have a go at plasterboarding ceiling. It's practically plasterboarded now, so you can see the ceiling, we tried to put it as full of boards as we could. We balled that one up, I don't know what we were thinking in there, but we've got it right now. And you can see at the back there, if you want to come in, David, I've just flattened off that corner there, just so that he can get his trowel in, although whether or not he'll thank me for that, I don't know, but that'll be like a little trowel, I'd imagine, just so that we can plaster that properly and get the skirting board on there as well. John's already pulled his lights down, marked them all out. We always pull them down before we plaster, just make sure we've got them in the right place, and if not, we'll just whip them off. And then he's going to go around and he's going to put all his back boxes in, which are somewhere, where are they, David? There they are. Plasterboard mattress back boxes. So that'll be that. Tom's coming to plaster Saturday. Right. So we're back on the triangle job. Tom came in and plastered it Saturday, so that's still drying. Obviously, we're freezing last week, so we never put the roof on. We were out 14 degrees yesterday, but I think we're down to about 10 today. Right, problem with it is, so because it's such a, it's a small build, but the shape of it makes it big, so the viscreen wasn't big enough to cover it, so we had to get the rubber in. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but you can see the condensation on the top there, the moisture build up, so the sun's now just come up, so we're going to let that dry off a little bit so that we can roll it back and not get any water on the roof. But I just want to, can you see that, David, when I draw there?
Yep.
So that's the shape of the build, right? So this is the front elevation there, and it was just under 6 metres, yeah? So what we've had to do is get a piece of rubber 6 by 6.5. So what we've had is a piece of rubber like that, yeah? Absolutely massive. And obviously all that is wastage, so 6 is 36. There's like, I don't know, nearly 40 square metres of rubber there, but the building itself is only 12.8 square metres, so you can see how much actual wastage is, and the rubber's cost me a bloody fortune, and more than 50% of it's gone in the bin. So what we're going to do now is, they've gone round, we've not been able to show you all basically, because we'll try and get this job finished for Christmas, and videoing obviously takes time and that, but you can see there they put the soffit on. We put the gutter trim down the side as well. 2 lots of gutter trim both sides, but I'm going to show you that going on. And then you've obviously got this really tight angle there, and you can't actually get a corner cover piece for a triangle, so I'm going to put a square one on there, but I'll show you that. It looks quite well, it looks alright when it's on, to be fair, so that's that. So where are we now? We're going to let this rubber dry off a little bit. I'm going to put some fascia on the front of this, and I'm going to show you the corners going on as well. Right, so I've got all my trims on, got all my fascia on, 2-pack gutter trim running down both side elevations. Now how am I going to glue this roof now? If I roll it all back this way, I'm going to have masses of it hanging over the sides. I can roll that back, that's fine. But what I'm going to do, I think, is I'll roll that one back like that, glue that, roll that corner back till I meet that glue point, roll that, and then pull this one back and the same as well and glue it. That's my plan anyway, see how it goes. We've actually got a break it whether the sun's out now, so condensation's gone off at roof as well, which is good. You can see the angle there, that put on the end of there. The reason why I put that on is I'm hoping to get a gutter bracket there, like for a bay window gutter bracket, and a normal right angle one there as well, but we'll see how that goes. Right, so that's your roof finished. I'm going to walk you around and explain details on corners and that, obviously because it's a triangle. Right, the people who make the rubber roof trims, they don't make anything apart from a right angle. So again, with the fascia, you've got a fascia right angle corner there, but because you've got such a point on it there, visually from the front it looks right there. Yeah, we fixed that square to there, but on the back, on the corner here where it pulls away, there's just a gap there, but you can't do anything about that because you can't actually get when that goes round. So we've sealed that with silicone, and that's the finish on that. That looks nice enough. It's the same with these top corners as well, for the P trim. They only do a right angle, so that's sat on there like that. That's your gutter trim. The other side's exactly the same, apart from the angle's not as steep. And then you've got your gutter trim, so we'll have gutters both down both sides, and I'll explain to you down at the bottom and why we did what we did. Right, so you've got your corner, that's the shape of the building basically, but I know that I can't finish that properly with a gutter or any kind of trims, so what I did, I created a right angle there and then another angle there, which I guessed at the bay window angle, because you can get a trim, so you've got your corner trim there, and then you've got this bay window trim there as well, which covers the joint on your fascia. I've sort of guessed that angle, but it's pretty much bang on, and now I know that's gone on there as well. They're doing the exact same gutter bracket as well, so that'll sit nicely on that angle there. We'll have a normal right angle there, and we'll have the outlet probably there, maybe I'd imagine, or there. But so I've got a gutter the full length now, so the full building is pitching from front to back, straight down the sides, so the water will go down, it'll come off the sides and it'll head its way down here as well. And it'll all go in the gutter, which is what I wanted. So that's how you can finish that. You can't finish it on a point because you can't successfully put your gutter on, and you can't get a nice trim on a point detail as well. But that's it. That is your roof done. We're going to have a go at the metal now. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is try and flex a sheet round this corner. But maybe not. Looking at it, it's quite a strong angle on that. That's probably like nearly a 45-degree angle, but we're gonna have a go, see what we can do with that. Right, so it started raining, so we've managed just to get the roof done in time. And I know the weather's going to be bad. We've got a good day tomorrow, so we should be able to get the doors and cedar on in time. But I just wanted to get one of these on just so see if I could do it. So what we've done, we've started there, we've riveted it to our resilient bar, which we fixed to there, and we've flexed it round the corner. I don't know if you can see it. Probably best looking up there, David, if the cameras don't get wet, you know, on the lens. And you can see the detail of the roof there. It actually looks not too bad at all, but I know my gutters are going to work now. So we've got this steel round this corner like that, so we can go both sides. No jointing there, no flashing required, so I'm pleased with that as well. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll get rested metal on, we'll get doors in, and we'll get cedar. So please like. Right, it's a triangle build. This is the last one of the year. You can see it's nestled nicely in the corner of the garden. The customer didn't want a rectangle one because she'd have been looking out over this fence and the neighbour's garage there. So this is what she's asked for, a triangle room, 12 square metres, and that's exactly what she's got. I'll walk you around it, then I'll show you inside. The front, which is quite fashionable still now, is the Western Red Cedar. It's been hand selected and it's been treated with a UV stabiliser, and you can see they really brought the beautiful colours out in it there as well. We fit a double socket there as well. Nice brushed stainless steel finish on that. She's got a PIR security light up the top, and we've got some black UPVC soffit and fascia with fire rated downlighters in there as well. To the front elevation, she has got these 3-metre aluminium bifolds, which I'll show you operating as well, and we'll just have a little walk around the back here. Right, the sides where you don't see, we've gone for no maintenance metal cladding there, so this side's there, will never need to be touched or treated. We've left a gap there because the customer wanted to get access into the fence, but you can see there, it really follows the shape of the garden. I don't know if David can just sort of sneak down there and see that side as well. Yeah, so we've snuck it in tight there. We've actually bent this metal cladding. If you look at the top, David, you might be able to see better. We've bent the metal cladding around the back, and I've also created a right angle and an offset angle there as well, so that I can put a gutter on this roof successfully without any gaps. So all the rainwater runs to the back, it comes down the sides, and it drops down the downpipe. There you can see metal cladding right down that elevation as well. Like I say, never have to be treated again. So let's go inside and have a look inside. We've put some bark down the sides here because it was quite a bit of a mud bath, just to tidy it up just till summertime comes and they can do something with it. Right, let's have a look inside this build then. This time of year, when you build it this time of year, you're always going to get a lot of condensation build up. The room looks dry, but it's not completely dry yet. And it will take several months to fully dry, especially when she paints it as well. So there's your bifold doors. We get these from Express Bifolds. They're the best doors on the market by the leading manufacturer of bifold doors, and you can see the glide on them. That's how your doors should be fit. That is the last one finger operation of the year. Right, 12 square metres. This is what she wanted, 12 square metres. This will be where her desk is. The rest will be like a usable family area, and she's asked for split lighting on this one. I'll just show you that there. So what she's asked for when she's in here on her own, she don't want it all bright and lit up, so she's sat here, she's got a nice little bit of light coming down here, and when the family's in, they'll turn on the rest of the lights and light the full building. Right, we've got a range of sockets, we've got some fire rated downlighters with brushed stainless steel finish. We've got a 2 kilowatt heater, which is plenty enough for this room. John's connected the internet to the house supply. You've got exactly the same speed and the same Wi-Fi coverage as if you were stood next to the modem in the house. And we've got a consumer unit up there, which has been certified and tested. A little bit of a different one with the flooring. If I'd have run it that way, it looked odd. If I'd have run it that way, it looked odd because of the angle. So what I had to do was actually start at the back of the building here and work my way forward so it's parallel with the doors. So that's it, that's our last build of the year. If you're looking for a garden room and you've got an odd shaped garden, or you want something a little bit different, then we are the people to do it for you. We've got some slots available because we've had a few cancellations at the beginning of the year, so you get in touch and we'll be able to build for you. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and don't forget we've got a raffle going as well. We've raised £172,000 for candlelighters so far. It's a cash pot raffle, so the winner will take 50% of all proceeds made. Okay, thanks very much, and we'll see you next year.